In this video on US30, I'm going to share my simple trading plan, including my full analysis, entries, profit targets, no matter if the market goes up or down. So make sure you watch into the end because no one is sharing all of this information for free. And people have made actual money, past challenges from these free videos. Here's someone a few weeks back where they were able to pass their prop firm challenge in just one trade. And this was 100% based on the analysis on this channel. So I'm LaKiesha. Let's go ahead and jump right into US30. So as you can see, this is how the market played out last week. And basically there were some really crazy moves as you can see. So let's go ahead and clean everything up so that way we can see what could possibly happen for this week. So if we go ahead and go to the weekly time frame, and let's zoom in a bit because I do see some things I want to talk about. All right, cool. We scoop that in. All right, awesome. All right, so on US30, we can see generally for the past few months, with the exception of this doji right here, or weeks, not months, the past few weeks, so the past 4 weeks, every candle has closed bullish. Now that hasn't necessarily meant that all the moves on US30 are bullish, mainly because of last week we had this candle right here, and you can see this really strong wick that was basically a rejection wick. So right here, this really strong wick, and then this past week we have a lot of rejection towards the bottom. So good thing that the candles are still moving bullish. However, we don't fully always know what direction the market can continue to go in. Now, the fact that it closed bullish means that there's a higher probability for price to continue bullish into this next week. And I really hope so because as you probably see up here, all of these stocks that I'm watching, I do have some long-term investments. Not all of them have been doing good. So I definitely want them to push up. So anyway, so let's go ahead and mark off a level on the weekly time frame at 38,500 roughly, and then I'm actually going to clone, oops, wrong button. All right, so I'm actually going to clone this box right here, and then I'm going to look at the previous resistance right here around 40,000 flat. And then I'm just going to drag this out a little bit, making sure that I keep these lines as slim as possible, especially because we are on the weekly time frame. And when we go down to lower time frames, the zone is going to look really big. So we want to keep it really thin. So another level that I do want to draw off, I'm just going to clone this line, is this very top wick up here. So this wick right here at 31,407 roughly, I want to have that marked off because I want to make sure that if price goes back up there again, then I have a game plan for that. And obviously we are going to talk about that when we go and talk about a game plan. So let's go ahead and go down to the daily time frame. I'm going to adjust some of these levels. Let's start off with the top. This is going to remain the same. This level that I drew right here, basically we have that previous high point in the market. It came down, created a low, and broke through this level, came back up. So at this level at 40,000 roughly, I want to focus on most recent price action. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move this line down a little bit because we can see that there's a support that was formed. So a support is formed when we have a bearish candle next to a bullish candle like we do right here. So I want to prioritize this, bring in the line down to around 39,900. Let's just kind of round that off a little bit. And then, so that looks fine based on this new information. And then this level, I do want to make it a little bit slimmer. However, let me see. I think I do want to keep this at this level for right now, but I do want to clone this level, and I do want to mark off this level down here roughly at 38,000 flat, mainly because we have a nice support, and the fact that we're on the daily time frame signifies that it is a strong confirmation time frame compared to if we were drawing this line, say on the M15, which is not high confirmation at all. And then we're going to clone this line again, and then we're going to draw off a level around 37,000 let's just say 37,700, because with this being US30 and these zones being actually quite big, we just want to take the average of all of these wicks right here. It wouldn't make sense for us at this point to put our bar all the way down here, although we could based on what we see on lower time frames. So this is looking good to me. So let's go ahead and go down to H4, and then let's just adjust our axes right here so that way we could see everything. Okay, this is looking good. Let me move this over. Okay, cool. So I still want to keep this right here at the top. Still looks good. As you can see now that we're on the H4 time frame, that this is pretty much lining up perfectly when we made that adjustment on the daily. And then we do have this kind of crazy area right here where we do have a lot of price action in here. Although let me see how it will look if I move it down just a little bit. Do I like that? Okay, actually, it's fine. So the one thing I was looking at was this right here. We do have a support that was formed, and I just adjusted the level to make it around 38,000. Let's just say, take the average of the two numbers off to the side, these two numbers right here. Let's just say it's around 38,440. 40, 50. It doesn't have to be insanely precise, at least not at this level, because we're going to refine at least a couple more times when we go down to the H2 and the H1. So this still looks great to me. Let's scoot over here. So this also looks good to me as we have a majority of these candles and wicks going through this level, and now it's around 37,700. Perfect. Let's go to H2. All right, we got to start from the top again. So we can see this is looking nice. So this level right here, I do want to push it down a little bit. And the reason why I'm pushing this down to around 39,800, and let's just say 50, roughly, because we do have a couple supports that were formed right here. And then we do have a rejection right here in the past. Let's move this in a little bit and scoot down to our other levels. Okay, so this is looking so much better here because now we have wicks in the zone right here. We did have this little area that came out and then pushed back up, but it's okay. So I really like this level a lot more now that I'm seeing it on lower time frames. All right, and this still looks great to me. We can see all those wicks touching this yellow box right here. And then right here, this still looks good to me because we still have the majority of the candles and wicks touching this area. Looks amazing. So let's go to H1. And now let's just reset our chart view so we could get a lot more information. All right. Okay, cool. All right, okay, I was just checking something. Okay, great. So this still looks good. So this still looks good right here. Actually, I do want to make this level just a little bit slimmer because as we can see right here, let me move this up. Right here, we do have a support. We do have a bunch of wicks. We do have another support. And then over here on this side, we can see that we have a whole bunch of rejections. So this lets me know that because price has rejected this level a bunch of times on the way up and then also rejected this level on the way down, basically forming a support right here and basically forming a resistance right here, then this is a really strong level. So I definitely want to keep my level at 39,000, roughly 828. You can round it up to 830 to have a really nice number. So that looks good. And then if we move down, we can see a lot of consolidation here. That was probably really tough to trade, which is why I don't trade every day. Okay, great. So this is still looking good to me. We have these supports. We have the wicks. We have wicks here and a support. We got wicks here. Still looks good. Let me see. I may want to make this a little bit slimmer. No, actually, I like it because let me zoom in because this is getting hard to see. So if you see these wicks right here, you can see that these are really long wicks and basically it's touching this entire area of this yellow zone. Same with this here. And this wick touches this perfectly. I think I just want to leave it alone. So, and then this is just some craziness in the past. We want to prioritize newer things. And then right here, this is actually looking really good. If we wanted to, we could make this box a little slimmer. And we still have the same effect. We have the supports, we have the rejections, still a great level. And then let's go all the way over here. So this is actually looking really good to me. If we wanted to, we could actually make this a little bit slimmer. Let me see how that will look. Okay, that looks fine. This is around 37,716. And then we have supports in here, rejections in here, rejections. So I'm really comfortable with this level being right here. Okay, cool. So now that we did our top-down analysis, let's go ahead and come up with a game plan for this upcoming week. Mainly because this right here, let me mark this off, this right here was our all-time high inside of this market. So we want to make sure that we planned for that. So let's go ahead and draw some levels. So I'm going to draw some intraday levels, mainly because of where price is currently. So actually, before I do that, I actually would want to see price to come down a bit more and then come back up. Actually, I'm gonna use my path tool just because it would be easier for you all to see. So I would want price to come down and then come back up, but price may not actually do that. We just don't know. So one thing I do know for sure is that right here around 40,750, let's just say 54, 55, I would definitely want to buy up above this level right here. So I'm just going to mark this off and put my little arrow. And basically what I would want to see is for some sort of price action to be up above this, specifically above this little wick. Let me do this first. So this range is huge. It is 631 points because we are on US30. And the other thing that I was talking about here, as far as the game plan, so we do have a wick right here. So I would want to make sure that price at least clears this wick before I make any entries, mainly because price came up to here before and it rejected, and you see it came down. Now it's forming a little support and it may come back up. That could be cool, but I would really want for that wick to be cleared before I feel comfortable with taking a trade. So pretty much I would look for buys. Looking left, what I would want to do is I would want to make sure that I target kind of this zone right here. So this is just me refining my target, my profit target levels, and this is around 41,000, let's just say 326, 27. So we can actually bring this down just a little bit. Still an amazing range, especially because we have all of this clean range right here, nothing but bullish or bearish candles, and we want obviously bullish candles on this side right here. So that's looking good as far as a game plan. One thing that you could possibly wait for, like I said before, one thing I would want to see is for price to come down here and then come back up in order to take buys from this really strong support level. But as you know, price can do whatever it wants, whenever it wants, so it may not come back down there. But anyway, that's a scenario that I do want to see. And then actually let me make this a little bit bigger in the zone because it is hard to see the candles. Okay, so one of the other things I would want to see is basically I would be interested in sells below 39,825 all the way down to 38,460. Now, of course, price does not move in a straight line. I would take profits by looking left. So one of the things I would look for would be over here. I like this level of 39,654, mainly because right here we have a rejection and right here we have a support. So, oops, don't know what happened there. So let me just go ahead and mark that off. So really I would want to take sells below this level right here. And then I would have another target if we just find the average of this. So 39,237-ish zone right here, because as you can see, price did form, put some arrows here, price did form some supports right in here, and it continued to push up. So I would want to have this as a target. So actually let me make this a little bit shorter. And then another target zone I would have would be around, let me see, like around 38,000, I like this, 38,988. So that's not that big of a zone compared to this one, but this would be an area. Maybe if I was taking a short here and then I was looking for another area, actually I'm gonna use a different arrow. If I was taking a short from here to here, see that's 413 points. And then from here to here, actually, that is decent. It's not as long, obviously, but 258 points, that's actually really good. So that would be another area, and then you just continue to do this. Continue to look left. You don't really need to know if the candles are bullish or bearish to see what the price action is doing. So I'm seeing this kind of average right here because we have rejections right here, rejections right here, and the support up in here, and then just drag it all the way over. So there we go, another TP that we could possibly target in this down move right here. Mainly because the market structure will be changing if price comes below here. And then one thing I do want to mark off, this to me, it wouldn't 100 be a no trade zone, but I do see price bouncing off of this level. Let's see what this range is right here on the downside. Okay, that's a decent range. It really is a decent range. But for me, I feel a lot more comfortable below here. So for me, this is going to be kind of a no trade zone. Oops, if I can spell. All right, cool. So this is pretty much my overall game plan. Now, of course, price can do whatever it wants. I mean, we could have other TPs. So from here, from 38,732 all the way down to this major level, which I actually really like, 38,000, roughly 436, and then of course continue down. But you know, price has more of a probability of going up, especially if we stay up above here. So let me go ahead and mark that off. And then I forgot to put the arrow down here so that way you could see my kind of thought process. And then let's drag this out. Okay, cool. So that is pretty much my game plan for US30. And if you haven't downloaded the 54 easy tips to eliminate fear and take profitable day trades, you are definitely missing out. Here is someone that downloaded it, loved it, and these are all the takeaways that this person got from it. So go ahead and check it out and have a good trading week. I'll see you next time.